Hey everyone, hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at another Tier 9 heavy video, but this time it's a brand new tank for me. It's the Tier 9 British Heavy, the Conqueror. However, I was waiting for this video to come out because I wanted to get about 100 battles before I start talking about a tank, just to kind of get a feel for it, and so now I can share my feeling and opinion on it after I've done about 114 battles. The Conqueror has an amazing gun and decent mobility, and that's about it. It's about the size of a TOG. It's very hard to kind of hide anywhere. It needs to go hold down, but it needs to go hold down like fully. Like there's still, and even your turret can be panned basically by anyone with a good aim, like your turret chicks in particular. So whereas M103 is smaller and actually a bit more nimble, I feel very vulnerable all the time in Conqueror, and it's very fine to find hold down places for this thing. And it's, you almost will never have a position of invulnerability or relative safety, because Conqueror is so big that basically it's very easy for enemies to hit you. Especially with all these new flat maps, very few decent spots left. So I'm having kind of really hard time in this tank, even though it has an amazing gun, amazing penetration, amazing accuracy, great reload. Hash is also great for anything that has no armor, but also for anything with weak side armor and rear armor as well. So Hash is great. It's just it's really hard to stay alive in this thing. It's large. It does have a large health point pool, but it just seems always out of place on almost any map. And so I found it to be really challenging to play solo. I find it to be challenging to not take damage because, like I said, this thing is made out of bread. It's, I feel like it's very vulnerable. I always feel exposed and in danger in it. But if you do manage to stay alive, if you do manage to keep your gun in the game for as long as possible, it is possible to do very amazing large numbers of damage. So this is the new Copperfield. As you can see, we're just kind of go with the flow. We're trying to push top, but we kind of failed. We took a lot of damage during that. Our team is not being very helpful. They all kind of like choking and dying. The situation's kind of getting hairy. I don't know why Patton shot HE at me. Maybe he forgot. So now we're 2 versus 3. I'm about a 2-shot for any decent tank. I load Hash because I know T44 is in front of me. I was hoping he would expose himself to me, so this would be a perfect time for Hash to work. Unfortunately, Hash did not work as possible, and then T44 took a very large hit out of my health points. So now I'm 1 versus 3. I don't know what IS-6 health is like. I don't know where he is. I know he was, in the beginning of the game, he was across the map by the water tower. So I kind of figured this is a done deal. This is a lost game. So just trying to get one last shot into something. I figured they're all capping, but suddenly they're all actually trying to come after me. And T44 had a critted ammo rack, so I'm guessing he couldn't reload fast enough. And so this was a big mistake, but these two guys, actually, they went out and tried to get me, but failed to do so. So if they stayed with the IS-6, who was at cap, if they stayed where they were, this would probably be a 1 game for them. But I guess I'm glad they reached out to get me, but it was a big mistake on their part. So, an amazing bounce by Conqueror. I'm not quite sure if it's the tank's achievement or poor IS-6 aim. He shot gold in my upper frame, so which is the only armored part in this tank. But he failed, and I guess he lived up to his name. So somehow, I don't really know how, we did 6,000 damage. And I watched this video about 3 times while making this, and I'm like, I don't know where this damage is coming from. Like, I didn't count 6,000 damage. We took apart the 96, we took apart STI briefly, we did like 3 shots in low, and like, so when I was playing it and I was watching it, I thought we had about 4,000 damage at most. But this game, which is it was a wacky game. I can't say this all was an achievement of a Conqueror. I guess the greatest achievement of the Conqueror was the gun, and being able to do that much damage. But I still feel better when I'm driving an STI. I feel better protected. STI is a smaller tank. It's not as vulnerable. The hull down spots are easier to find for an STI. Even for M103. M103 is also a large tank, but Conqueror is a giant tank. And I also noticed we got a mission completion award, and I was like, which one was that? Because I didn't really get a notice. But apparently it was the Onslaught, do 6,000 damage over any amount of battle. So yeah, this is my first mastery in Conqueror, and I hope you enjoyed this game. I tried to get better in this. I'll try to be more patient, because patience is what you need in this tank. But as of right now, I don't feel much love for the Conqueror. I know it's a good tank. I see the potential, but on our small maps and our flattened out maps, Conqueror really suffers from being just larger than life. I think it's basically one of the biggest tanks in the game, if not the biggest, at the tier 9. It's just absolutely huge. And it has nothing to show for that size. It's large and poorly armored. And by poorly armored, it's completely made out of paper. Like 60 millimeters in the hull. Like other Conquerors could hash you. So yeah. Thank you for watching, and as I try to get better in the Conqueror, I'll try to do more videos on this, and then hopefully down the line I'll get to other tier 9 heavies in the future. Have a great day. 360 Mafia signing off.